Good evening, and thank you for tuning back in. Thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for making noise on a lot of platforms. People are conscious, and I love it. Now, let's talk about marriage. Yes, I said it, marriage. Now, among black folk, marriage is an institution right now that I would love to say, or I'd love to admit, that is under siege. Why do I think it's under siege? I have done random surveys, well, with no independent observer. I know a lot of people would say, but who was the observer and who authenticated the methods and all that were used? However, just looking around you in our African societies, in our homes, in our villages, in our townships, in our residential areas, in our workplaces. If you look at all the marriages that have fallen apart in the few years you've probably known those people, what would you say? I'd safely say that the institution is under siege, and it didn't start today. Now, these are some of the burdens that do not make it easy for the African child to leave a legacy for the generation that's to come. Why? Look, the institution of marriage was created by God Himself. He gave Eve to Adam for a purpose-filled life. She came in helping the man, and they built the dreams together. Now, we have a lot of pressure groups. We have a lot of self-made single bachelors, single females that are playing the power game, and remember, some of them are very influential, and whatever they say stands. They have a lot of fans, they have a huge following, huge fan base, and whatever they say goes. Now, how does the word marriage or the institution marriage affect developmental issues that I am always talking about? Here's the thing. Broken homes don't bring up children who have everything they need. That's a fact. You might be a very wealthy person and be a single parent. I can admit financially your children will be well off, but they'll still lack. So the institution of marriage was instituted originally to create a full package for us to be able to raise children that are mentally fit, physically fit, and materially fit as well. How does that relate to development? Well, a child who is brought up in a home where they saw their parents sticking it out, they saw their parents building dreams together, there was no time to waste. They dedicated their time and energy, or they dedicate their time and energy to developmental issues. When we thrust and hammer, these are the children that we want for a future generation. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I haven't had my flaws. I'm not saying a lot of men out there, or I'm not saying anyone who's a single parent. I'm a single parent. But there's things that we really, really have to address. And one of them is the institution of marriage. It was attacked by the by the colonialists when they approached us. We had to be weakened. That's why our fathers were given single rooms, and they would stay wherever they were staying and working without their women. That's why mothers became farmers, they became subsistence farmers, and there was not much the children could also do except to get on the same bus, go wherever daddy was working. So now we have to change the mentality that we have on marriage as black people. Marriage is the best thing that ever happened to a male and a female. However, we have so much negativity going around it. And as far as development is concerned, we will not take the necessary strides if the institution of marriage is still being bombarded by a lot of people who self-proclaimed gods and those with solutions, and they're encouraging our little girls that it's okay to be single, it's okay not to have children, it's okay to go for abortions, it's okay to just let everything stand as is. So now there's no better way of putting this across, but we have to talk about it and see how best we can do this, because I'm tired of the divorces. I'm tired of the families that end up having children that do not even get a meal. How do you even talk of development when that child is coming from a very broken home? It's even impossible to think of it that way. How do you even encourage that child to smile and come to a workshop or whatever when they have emotional issues, when they have seen the worst? So I really think that we should have a discussion like this. There's a lot of people who've spoken about it. I know that one of my brothers, Rutendo Benson Matinyarare, he's spoken about it, and I follow this guy. There's a lot of people. If you really research well, you find that a lot of people are talking about it. So let's talk about it as much as we can in our smaller groups, and let's find solutions to it as black people, black males, black females. Thank you.